Randal Kolo Muani, the man that almost denied Messi the 2022 World Cup. With this World Cup, and especially that incredible substitution in the final, Kolo Muani presented himself as one of the most promising strikers of this new generation. So why is Kolo Muani's career today at an all-time low? Well, just like for any World Cup revelation, his price and valuation in the transfer market skyrocketed. It helped that Kolo Muani was already halfway to the season of his life with his club Frankfurt in the Bundesliga in Germany. He ended the season with an incredible stat line of 23 goals and 17 assists in only 46 games. This incredible season in Germany, combined with his breakout performance on the biggest stage of football at the World Cup with France, exploded his market value to a peak valuation of 80 million euros in the summer of 2023. At this point, all seemed bright for Kolo Muani, and the summer looks to bring on heavy negotiations as to his next club.
Randal Kolo Muani, he's been linked with Bayern Munich. We've heard that before. He's been linked with Manchester United as well.
There's no chance that we will let him go for under 100 million euro. We need to invest their money. But this will be an expensive player.
Marcus Thuram, reportedly Mbappe's best friend in the French national team, and son of Lionel Thuram, World Cup winner with France in 1998, was in a similar position to Kolo Muani. Thuram also came out of his best season ever at the German club Mönchengladbach in Germany and made a strong impression at the 2022 World Cup, coming on as a super sub for France. Thuram handled the summer rumours in a much different way to Kolo Muani, possibly advised by his father and entourage that had a long experience in the footballing world, unlike Kolo Muani's entourage, which did not. Thuram rapidly agreed on a deal with Inter Milan and immediately got ready to join his new club, without maintaining uncertainty around his future. Unlike Thuram, Kolo Muani did just that. He maintained a vague and unclear situation around his future and waited until the very end of the transfer window to make a move. Many clubs were reportedly interested in the player, and talks had even started.
Chance when there will be a bidding war between Manchester United, maybe PSG.
Yet, nothing really materialized until the last few weeks of the transfer window, where PSG started negotiations with Frankfurt. However, these negotiations quickly came to a halt when it became clear that PSG were not willing to make the offer that Frankfurt required.
Everything shows that the prices are going up now, and he's one of the best players in the market for a number 9.
Kolo Muani was determined to leave Frankfurt and moved to Paris Saint-Germain. Ahead of their Conference League playoff game in late August of 2023, Randal Kolo Muani refused to train with Frankfurt and decided to not participate in the game, to signal his anger and disappointment and absolute desire to leave the club. Frankfurt staff and fans were very disappointed by Kolo Muani's behavior. However, since signing at PSG, Kolo Muani's career appears to have taken a clear downturn. So far this season, he has only started 40% of the games and played less than 50% of all minutes this season. His 9 goals and 5 assists are far from sufficient, especially for the PSG fans that already perceive him as a flop for the most part. His market value is falling by 20 million euros, and his enormous 90 million euros price tag is starting to look more than questionable. Sadly, however, this downfall was very much predictable because of 3 clear factors that destined Kolo Muani for failure following this transfer. Firstly, and perhaps the most obvious one, Kolo Muani arrived from and had his best season in the Bundesliga. It is now a known fact that the Bundesliga is a particularly favourable league for strikers and offensive players in general. From Timo Werner moving from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, to even more recently Lewandowski moving to La Liga, it is clear that transferring one's incredible offensive numbers from the Bundesliga to other football leagues is far from a guarantee. Countless players average unbelievable statistics in the Bundesliga, and this statistic inflation should be a warning to all clubs looking to recruit offensive talent in the Bundesliga. Perhaps Erling Haaland is the only exception to this rule, but again, he is Erling Haaland. So from the start, it was unlikely that Kolo Muani would have it easy in Liga and would be able to reproduce his crazy goal contribution. The second factor that destined Kolo Muani for failure could perhaps change from the next season onwards. The second factor is playing in an offense with Kylian Mbappe, or with any star of that caliber for that matter. When playing with such a star player, it is clear that it will be more complicated to have all the chances and opportunities to showcase one's top offensive abilities. Mbappe has very much carried PSG for the past few years, and it will always be difficult for another offensive player or not on his level to truly shine when playing with the Ninja Turtle. The third and perhaps more worrying reason is that Randal Kolo Muani might simply not possess the intrinsic qualities of a top player and might not be talented enough to play at this level of football. This is because in reality, Kolo Muani's breakout into professional football is very, very recent. Although he is of the same age as Kylian Mbappe, Kolo Muani was not hailed as the best of his generation. In fact, he never played in the youth age groups of the French national team. Truthfully, he admitted himself in numerous interviews he was far from being destined to play professional football. He felt so many trials in so many clubs, and his signing for Nantes at the age of 19 was nothing short of a miracle for him. But even at Nantes, Kolo Muani was not perceived as a generational talent and was sent on loan to US Boulogne, a club in France's 3rd division. This should have been Kolo Muani's moment to truly show Nantes that he was well above the competition. However, this is not what would happen, as Kolo Muani would get 2 red cards in his first 2 games for US Boulogne. Furthermore, the 2019-20 season would be cut particularly short in France, and Kolo Muani would come back to Nantes. Back in Nantes, and not without more struggles, Kolo Muani would finally show his class and start becoming a regular starter for the A-team. All of this to show that Kolo Muani had far from the typical wonder kid path to professional football. Although many would say that this makes him all the more resilient to the many setbacks of the life of a football player, some also argued that it shows that he does not possess the qualities to be playing at top clubs like PSG or even for the French national team. What is sure is that Randal Kolo Muani will need to show much more in his second season at PSG in order to finally silence the doubters and the haters. This still remains very much possible, as Kylian Mbappe is set to leave for Real Madrid at the end of this 23-24 season, which will, as discussed, free up significant space in PSG's offensive line. Still, Kolo Muani must overturn the situation as rapidly as possible, as competition is fierce with the likes of Gonzalo Ramos or even Marco Asensio. Staying at a top club like PSG is never a guarantee. The path of Hugo Ekitike, the youngster that was expected to be France's next great attacker but has now been sent on loan by PSG, is a cautionary tale that it remains incredibly difficult to stay at PSG if one does not have the performances to show for it. Kolo Muani looks to finish off the season strongly, as PSG are still in a good run in the Champions League, and he will also hope to be a part of the French squad for Euros in Germany this summer. Will Kolo Muani rise to become a top striker of his generation, or will he prove to be a fraud that should not have reached the professional levels of football? Only time will tell.